Hello and welcome to a tutorial on how to make a mixer MixPlay board. It's usually the interactive boards that you see below a stream that you can interact with. A lot of people have been asking me to make a tutorial on these. This tutorial is going to be specifically for the MixItUp side. Usually a lot of people who are new to Mixer, they might actually use Scorpbot and Firebot in unison for their bots, and Firebot runs their MixPlay board. That's just too many programs running at once for my taste, so this is going to be specifically for MixItUp. If you want a Firebot tutorial, I can do a Firebot tutorial down the road, but mostly for right now, it's going to be MixItUp. And also for right now, it's going to be a bit of a simplified version of the way to make a MixPlay board. I'm not going to go into a lot of details. If you want more details, feel free to jump into the stream and ask me questions, jump into my Discord, anything like that. All of that stuff is down in the description below. But yeah, so the first thing that you guys need to know is you need to actually make the board on so on Mixer. What you're gonna do, you're gonna be logged in, obviously, and down here you're gonna hit DevLab. And this is going to look crazy. Like, wait, I need an OAuth? No. Wait, a client ID? No. You don't have to worry about all that. Go to MixPlay Projects up at the top. And then you're going to have this. You're not going to have any of these. This is different. This is my old interactive board right here. And then this is my new interactive board that I just recently made. And then instead of making a whole new board and bogging down tutorial, I'll just go over the basic board. So you would normally hit the plus to create a new board, and then it's going to come into this screen. You don't have to do anything with this. This is if you want to publish your board to be a full-blown actual board for like a game or specific to something. People use it to make it interact with games that they want to integrate with Mixer, stuff like that. It's crazy what some people will do. You don't have to worry about that. Just go straight into build. This is the only place that you need to be, is in the build section. All right. And you're going to have it open, and you're only going to have this default section, which is fine. You can hit the plus and you can have more scenes. And all that means is every scene is going to have different buttons. So my default section, very simple, is just enter the kingdom. And to make that, you'll hit the controls button, just hit new control, and then add a button, and then hit add. Well, yeah, you have to put in a name. Test. You just hit add, and then put test in there. You can put the spark cost. You can make it so that it actually goes on a keyboard control. I never do that. It's kind of dumb. You can change the text size. You can change the color. You can actually give it your own background image, which some of my buttons do have a background image. For example, Enter the Kingdom has a image. The way that I do it is I just send the image to someone on Discord and take the link from that image and post it into here. For example, let me just find one real quick for you. So, for example, if I want to take this Dead by Daylight skull right here that I modeled, and I want to open this image, what I'll do is I'll just click on it so it's opened up like that, hit Open Original, and I'll just take this link right here. So, real simple, you just send it to someone, just say ignore this, open original, and view it in your actual browser. Just hit open original, and it will show up in this section. You take this link, and then you post it in the background image section, and it's posted there. So, very simple, very simplistic. But once you are done with all of these settings right here, you're going to grab this and you're going to drag it over into this light blue grid section, which you know, from here you'll be able to resize stuff. Like as you can see, some of my buttons are resized. But you'll resize things to the size that you want, and then over here is a little bit of a interesting thing. So on default, it's automatically set up for the large grids, which is the desktop. If someone is viewing Mixer and watching your stream on PC, that's how they will see the buttons. You're gonna want to go through all of the grids to put the buttons there. Otherwise, people on tablets might not see the buttons, or people on smartphones might not see the buttons. So you're gonna want to put one on each. And yes, it's very time consuming, especially when you have stuff like this. As you can see, a lot of my buttons, there's just a ton of buttons on the screen at times. And then if you have a board as complicated as mine, it takes quite a while. And then if you want a button like this that just says something, I have it so people can ask how to get a button, and it's kind of funny whenever I actually decide to answer. But all you have to do is, when you add a button, whoopsie, when you add a button, just make it a label. That's all you gotta do. You don't have to add a button and then make it so the button can't be pressed. Just add a label, and then it says ask how you can get a button. Real easy. So pretty straightforward on this here. You know, like I said, you can set the background colors, you can set the spark costs, you can make it look really pretty. Mixer has been improving on this constantly, but now you're like, wait, King, hold on, I got all that, but how do we make the sounds go off? How do we make our cool little GIFs go off? Well, I'll tell you. All right, and you can see that, you know, we're loading up here. Patience, my young apprentice. See? Patience. So, now from here, this is where things get to be a little difficult. So, you got your bot up, and you'll be able to, you know, do all this stuff. I do have a tutorial on some basic commands that I'll put in the link. I'll put the link in the description if you want to see that. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna come down to MixPlay, and my bots that or my board that I have is very complicated, because if you're gonna have it like I do, where you can switch between scenes, you don't want Bobby Joe to switch to Star Wars while you're on the main board trying to take a big old dump with sparks on someone. You know what I mean? So it's very complicated. If you're just having a base regular board, you don't have to worry about this. It just shows up and boom, Bob's your uncle, Joanne's your aunt, you're good. There's no problems. But the issue is when you start working on this stuff, you're gonna have well, let me disconnect this so I can actually work with it. You're gonna have to work with groups. So when people first join in, this is the board that they see, right? And then it'll pop up with my button that I have. The first thing I'm gonna do is edit command, and this is where my board gets complicated. I'm just gonna get the complicated stuff out of the way first, so that I can do the easy stuff for you guys later. If you want it to switch someone without switching everybody else, you're going to go down to actions, go to MixPlay, make a MixPlay command, move user to group, user, and then the group section. And to have a group section, like if main board, you have to add a new group, and it's case sensitive. This is where the main group users are. So if you wanted a group that said Borderlands 3 or something like that, you had a Borderlands 3 section of your board, you would add a group, or come down here where it says group name, type in Borderlands 3, and then add group, right? And then if you wanted this button that you just put MixPlay over to, you're gonna move user to group, permission user. Oh, wait, no. Oopsie. Move user to group. There we go. And then it's just going to be whatever you put in. So it'd be Borderlands 3 in that case. But I'm going to keep this because I don't want to mess up my board. I probably already did, but it's fine. So, yeah. That's the first thing. And that is the most difficult thing that you could do. And as you can see, if the board is connected... Wait for it to connect here real quick. You cannot work on the groups. You have to make sure you hit disconnect first in order to work with the groups. Alright. Now, the simple stuff. If you want just basic, like, chat commands, all you have to do is just come into this and be like, oh, hey, all I want is a basic command. No big deal. No problem whatsoever. When you first add a button, it'll have nothing there, and it'll be like the commands if you were adding a command. Let me just do a command real quick because that'll be easier. It'll give the basic chat command, basic sound, advanced command, stuff like that. If you want it to just be a basic chat command, like for my arts, I just did a basic chat command, typed out what I wanted, gave a cooldown for how long it would take. And that's in seconds. And then you can have it cool down with all the buttons or just by itself, whatever. And then just hit save. Simple, easy, no problems. And then if you wanted to have something like a pop-up come up, you're going to have to go into advanced commands. You're going to do a sound, an overlay, and then I even throw in a chat with it. So the sound and the overlay stuff you're going to have saved on your computer. Again, you could do the Discord route that I did with the button images, but eventually that just gets really messy. So I actually have a section on my computer. Let me find it here. I actually have a section on my computer where I have everything saved. Every GIF, every sound, everything is saved there, stored perfectly fine. So that's the best way to do it, and you're gonna have to go through and you're gonna have to download the files. You're gonna have to make these sounds and these graphics yourself. But you just hit browse, go to the folder that it's located in, make sure the output device is your output device that you want it on, and then that's it. For stuff to appear on screen, a lot of people have issues with this. First, you absolutely have to open up any bot that you are using for MixPlay before your streaming software. You have to open it before the streaming software. If you do not, it will end up bugging out and you will not get an overlay. Alright? So, you're gonna have overlays to use, which if you come over to here, go up into that cog in the top right corner and then go into overlay section, I have an overlay system specifically for my MixPlay. The default one is okay and it doesn't have any issues, but every once in a while it kind of bugs out. So I made one specifically called MixPlay for my MixPlay board. And then once you have that added, it's just same deal. You just come to here, you add it. Once you have that added, you come over to here. In your overlay section, it just says overlay to use. Choose the one that you add. And then these, I usually go by picture dimensions. If the picture is a 1920 by 1080, take it down to a 480 by 320. That's going to be the same, like, size-wise. You're not going to have any stretching, and it's not going to be overly big on your stream. You know, you can change the duration depending on how long the sound is playing or how long you want it to show up. That's all that is. You got some entrance images, so if you want it to be goofy and like slide in and stop, you can do that. If you want it to wiggle or flash or do anything like that, you know, you can add animation with it. For the screen position, I personally prefer to go with percentages, just because I can kind of make it so that they are flush against the side of the stream or whatever. Sometimes they're a little too far over. Sometimes they kind of start moving in directions that I don't like. The pixels, far too many. But I usually will go about 90 and 50. And what that will do is it will pop up right in the middle of the right side of your screen, and usually have a very small gap with your end of the stream and where it pops up. That way, if you have a bigger image, it's not cut off a little bit or anything like that. It's just my personal preference. You can go with simple, but again, that's going to show up, so it's going to be big in one section. It's very, very hard to place it where you want it, and it ends up taking up some parts that you don't want it to, blah blah blah, all that nonsense. But yeah, and then for the chat, it's just another basic chat command. Like you're gonna want to go to the special identifiers area. Like $, username is how you make it so that whoever pressed the button pops up saying, hey, this person is the one who dropped 1,000,000 sparks. And then that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. It seems very complicated and it seems very chaotic, but overall it is not that bad. You know, you can hit this button right here and it'll take you automatically to the mixer labs if you wanted to, if you didn't want to go through the process at the beginning, and it just takes you right back to here. The thing that takes the longest is definitely this part. And absolutely 100% do not forget, I've done this so many times, and my boards I've spent probably a good 4 or 5 hours on my boards making them. If you forget to hit save, it goes bye-bye. So do not forget to hit save. And then if you do make the board after already having it open, all you have to do is hit this button. It refreshes the board to make it so that whatever you have on it or whatever you added or took away, it brings it over. It grabs that data and brings it over. And that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. So I hope you guys found this to be informative. Let me know if there's anything more that you would like me to go into it. You know, obviously, like I said, there's ways to do a lot more complicated stuff with it. There's people who do randomizers with them. There's people who, you know, have hidden buttons that only mods can see, and this and that. And, you know, that stuff gets into a lot of places that I don't even go into. I find it to be a little too complicated. But if you want to know how to do that, I can make a short tutorial on stuff like that as well. So let me know what you guys think, and thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that good fun stuff, and I will see all of you guys next time. Bye guys!